training with physical assessment of players in Turkey. Dumelang. The President, Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi, cited the urgent need for global communities to take actionable steps in their commitment to preserving human and planet life ecosystems for a more sustainable future for generations to come. He was giving an address at a high-level segment opening of the 6th session of the United Nations Environment Assembly in Nairobi, Kenya, with a call of action on the part of the global village heavily pronounced. President Masisi noted Botswana's milestones in promoting such critical environmental sustainable priorities. He shared Botswana's intentional efforts in implementing the uptake of alternative renewable energy sources guided by her energy policy framework. Botswana also has established an integrated waste management policy to enhance waste recovery, reuse and recycling, which incorporates a social economic element and its various value chains.
Only through collaborative action can we hope to safeguard the diversity of life on Earth and secure a sustainable future for generations to come. The urgency of this task calls for global cooperation and commitment to ensure the resilience and well-being of our precious planet. Responding to the global call for action on planetary survival, Botswana has taken steps in the right direction. In this regard, we are making significant strides towards transitioning from coal-fired plants for generating electricity to embracing alternative renewable energy sources. As part of implementing the energy policy and renewable energy strategy, my government has made the decision to increase renewable energy penetration from 2% to 30% by 2030. This will be achieved through the implementation of solar, photovoltaic, concentrated solar plants, and wind energy projects, and will double the nationally determined contributions target to show raised ambition.
Now back to Botswana. The public is informed of the appointments, promotions and transfers that have been effective in the public service. Now Mayor Bonolo Elizabeth Kumotaka is appointed Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education and Skills Development, while Mayor Bridget Poppy John is appointed as Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Youth, Gender, Sports and Culture, and Mayor Diana Marate has been transferred from the Botswana Prison Services to the Botswana Police Service as Commissioner, and Repimelo Ramakorwane is promoted and transferred from Botswana Police Service to the DEA as Director General under the Ministry of Defence and Security, while Re Anthony Mukento is promoted to the position of Commissioner of the Botswana Prison Services. And Miriam Maroba has been deployed to the new role of Coordinator for Public Schools Concessionaire, while Rekitso Kemoying has been transferred to the Public Service College as an Executive Director, and Rebwata Metse Mudukanele has been appointed as the Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Environment and Tourism. These appointments will take effect from the 1st of March 2024. And the Botswana Wildlife Producers Association, together with other conservational and non-governmental organizations, say they are against the proposed bill to ban the importation of hunting trophies into the United Kingdom by members of the British House of Commons. They are of the view that the ban will negatively affect the livelihoods of communities who live alongside wildlife areas, as some depend entirely on hunting. Monica Setswaila.
An issue that has since resurfaced at the United Kingdom regarding a proposed ban on trophy hunting has led to some local wildlife conservational NGOs to issue statements advocating against it. The NGOs are of the view that hunting plays a role in supporting rural communities in wildlife areas, hence the proposed bill carries a substantial risk to many livelihoods and conservation.
In their support to ban hunting in Africa are indeed ignoring the role that hunting plays in supporting communities living with this wildlife, especially employment of unskilled rural people. the role it plays in promoting coexistence by providing tangible incentives, the role it plays as a sustainable tool of conserving large sections of marginal wildlife areas, and the employment it creates. These risks have been corroborated by hundreds of experts, including many leading conservation and scientists and community conservationists.
The NGOs say they are working to ensure that communities with limited income options benefit more from this initiative, which was reinstated in 2019 following the ban in 2014.
The issue of hunting is a way of improving tolerance from these communities to live alongside these animals. So if you take away that incentive that can promote coexistence, we are actually not helping the wildlife, we are not helping our community.
We are not saying the industry does not have issues. We are putting standards as communities, training our communities to actually be able to be proactive in terms of how they distribute the benefits. Just 2023, the communities have actually benefited over 29 million in benefits. That's all the encompassing all the community trusts that are doing hunting.
Next month, the NGOs intends to travel to the UK to further engage in discussions concerning the proposed ban. Monica Setswaila, BTV News, Gaborone.
The Director of International Programs and Global Initiatives at the Florida International University, Dr. Lakda Bakeru, says empowering human resources with a set skills to operate solar systems will help Botswana achieve its mandate of transitioning to the use of renewable energy sources. He said this at the ongoing training of 28 facilitators and trainers from local brigades and technical vocational training centers that is offered by Florida International University in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Skills Development and the U.S. Embassy. Wabetswe Mpulubusi.
The global village, including Botswana, continues to embrace the use of new technologies as well as renewable sources of energy, which provide sustainable ways of mitigating the adverse effects of climate change. Botswana, through strategic partnerships, made strides to this effect through capacitation of its human resource in order to drive the agenda of going green.
The overall goal of this program is to develop a curriculum that is going to help the schools teach sustainable energy by focusing on solar energy. And this program is to have new students coming out that are going to be capable of doing the installations and dealing with these installations around the country.
The training does not only aim to offer skills transfer, but rather through strategic engagements seek to provide employment opportunities, as this is a scarce skill locally.
No, se re se itemogela mo Botswana ke gore mongwe le mongwe hela yo nang le letshono wa tsena ka sola ba kgona go dira. That way gore ha go na le ditshenyegelo tse di nang teng ha gona ope re ka lebellang go ene re nya a me motho no mo dirisitse o siame sente. So re na le background ya gore gongwe motho ka nna le motakase as an electrician or as a mechanical engineer. But ha go certify gore o ka khoma sepe se dilang le sola. It means you have to go through an extra training.
The stakeholder meeting where we invited people from industry to come and exchange ideas with the instructors, with the folks from the ministry. Why? Because if we are teaching a program and a new program, we want to make sure that these new students who are coming out of the schools are going to find employment. And in order for them to find employment, we have to understand and we have to talk to the industry people here about employment possibilities.
This week-long training of trainers will end on Friday, with these 28 trainees receiving internationally recognized certification that will break continental barriers, as locals will be able to compete internationally. Wabetswe Mpulubusi, BTV News, Gaborone.
Botswana has taken a stride in fighting the rising number of cases of non-communicable diseases by launching the third stepwise approach to non-communicable diseases risk factor surveillance known as STEP Survey, which is expected to be rolled out on the 8th of March, running until mid-June this year. Yenge Malimoyo.
Botswana, like other African countries, is experiencing an epidemiological transition due to urbanization and adoption of Western lifestyles. As a result, this leads to the rise of modifiable NCD risk factors such as tobacco use, unhealthy diets, amongst others. Therefore, this community outreach program, coined STEP Survey, will enhance early detection, diagnosis, treatment, care and support.
One of the reports on causes of mortality from 2020 shows a high mortality related to non-communicable diseases. There were 2,929 deaths related to non-communicable diseases, with an almost equal number of deaths for both males and females.
Most of these risk factors for the non-communicable diseases have already been alluded to. However, there are some environmental factors such as globalization, urbanization, that change the way we eat and the way we do our physical movement from a day to day.
This survey, conducted in collaboration with esteemed partners such as NAPA, WHO, Statistics Botswana, will provide crucial insights into the current level of prevalence of NCDs and their risk factors among our population.
As the second country after Eswatini to initiate STEPS fieldwork done following different phases of STEPS this year in the African region, Botswana will join a total of 10 countries, which has over the past 5 years successfully completed this approach and reported their findings.
Through the face-to-face interviews, the teams will be able to gather key information on behavioral risk factors as well as screening for depression and anxiety. Physical measurements like measurements for blood pressure, waist circumference, weight, height, and the biochemical measurements such as blood glucose and blood cholesterol will help us gather comprehensive data which will inform our policies, interventions, and resource allocation strategies.
The survey is expected to be done in a period of 10 weeks, targeting over 4,700 households. As such, the Minister of Health, Dr. Edwin Dikoloti, pleaded with the public to cooperate with the deployed team, as it is not only about collecting numbers, but understanding the true burden of NCDs and their risk factors on the nation, so that steps are taken to arrest the situation. Yenge Malimoyo, BTV News, Gaborone.
The defense attorney Ubone Jonas, representing the 3 accused persons, Samuel Sedulwane, Veronica Kopulelo, and Lydia Bojam-Meo, this morning filed another bail application before the magistrate Horatile Muremi Ramakoloi. Jonas told the court that the accused persons have not been convicted and is not proper for the court to deny them their right to bail. Ungutile Tamar.
Just a few weeks ago, Broadest Magistrate Horatile Muremi Ramakoloi denied the first accused person, Samuel Sedulwane, bail, who is charged with the rape of a 13-year-old girl at Odi Village on the 26th of January 2024. On the 6th of February 2024, the first accused rushed to the Gaborone High Court together with his co-accused, Veronica Kopolelo and Lydia Bojam-Meo. Judge Barnabas Nyamazab also dismissed the trio's application for bail, one of the reasons being that Samuel Sedulwane's reluctance to provide his blood sample has stalled police investigations, and that if the accused can be given bail, they will frustrate the investigation. This morning, the court was expected to deliver a ruling in an application filed by the Director of Public Prosecutions, which sought the court to issue an order to have Sedulwane submit blood samples for DNA tests. The ruling did not go through as planned after realization that the defense attorney Ubonye Jonas has filed another application for the accused to be given bail. Jonas in his application says the accused persons have not been convicted and it is wrong for the court of law to continue denying his client's bail. He says the prosecution must file a formal application with the court if they want an order that can force Sololwane to submit blood samples. The prosecution told the court that they were only served with bail application documents this morning and they need time to familiarize themselves with their reasons. They also opposed the bail application as they say the Magistrate Court and High Court have already dealt with the matter. Magistrate postponed the case to the 15th of March 2024, where she will listen to the defense application. The accused are further remanded in custody. Unkutule Thamage, BTV News, Broadest Magistrate Court, Gaborone.
You're watching BTV News and thank you for staying with us. Now, performing artists in Nata Gweta constituency have commended the DBS Roadshow for giving them a platform to showcase their talents. The artists who are participating in the roadshow said that the project will help position them well in the industry as well as improve the standard of music in Botswana. Abigail Madorobo.
Artists who graced the roadshow highlighted that the project creates an opportunity for them to network and connect with entertainment industry promoters.
Misho e support ya re solohela molemo ka mabaka gore e tsamayana e re bolla di talente tsa badiragatse go itshupa bokheleke jo na le jone mme bile e rutwetsa gape mo tsa go tokagatsa matshelo ba rona ka gore ga re le mo diragatse kana mo diragatse re botsa jaaka ditiro tsa rona ke mogane o bereka jaanong ga re thusa gore re thwahale go botsa ka thwahalo
show ena ke bona le e ka re sologela molemo because dio tsini wa re gona o ita go tsona le mo kgaolo no male so aga ba tsamala ha tsilotana ke ntao ga go ka la go itsa temelo go batho ba ba lora ba go di kgaolong gore ba khona ba tswelele re gona gona re gona go tswa mo televisioneng e re latetse go re lenteng so ke opportunity le rona se ke ra bona motho go because a re lekane ba rotle ba bangwe go re simolola go tsena mo music ise re madi a ka lokana.
The area member of parliament, Mr. Paulson Majaga, says if well designed and packaged, the creative industry has the potential to transform the country's economy.
We will advocate that these things are reborn and liota balituna ho sonzurai born or is real and ikatusa more where the global village is. Creative arts, malasiana rabona, mino kana music, kana arts, kana whatever, how you can call it, is a medication. You become healed. How about depression, stress? So these things,
if we don't change our habits, mindset change,
artists were asked to embrace mindset change as it will curb bad habits among the youth and set a strong foundation for the career path. Abigail Madorobo, BTV News, Soa.
And we continue with our news right here on BTV. Now, we are going to cross over, look at a story from Munong based on the activities that took place there. Let's cross.
The sphere of local government is closest to the community and therefore it has a unique role in recognizing and enhancing the identity of local places. Thus, this ministry joined hands with the Standard Chartered Bank to gift 20 computers, 291 school shoes and socks to Ngang and Munong primary school students.
Dimpotse ke tsogohatso mo go rona ka o ditsile gone go ga bana ba rona seriti kana ngwana ha apere botsadi first appearance ga it counts makgwa ba rialo
re dira mo go tweng ke mentoring gape re tsa di kgang le bona re ba ruta gore ha o batla go pasa o ira jang go o bo bereka jang gore o kgone go pasa ha o batla go ira madi o ira jang gore o dira madi o berekele madi o kgone go tswella ka khantsa madi ne re tsere di kgang le bone re simolotse ka ba class 0 ba 1 2 3 hela jalo go hela ka 7 re bua le bone di kgang tseo tsotlhe ne re dira mo go teng financial literacy le mo go teng academic excellence re tse re di kganna bo re le ka go ba thusa ka se re se dirileng re ba bolelela le gore rena re kgonne go dira jang ba re botsa dipotso tse di thata gore o kgonne jang go tsena ko o leng teng o ne o dira eng go a ko o leng teng.
This donations comes at the right time as Botswana is on quest to transition from the resource-based economy to knowledge-based economy, and therefore these computers will enable students to explore various information and technology skills as well as conduct research.
Tobetsa magolo tse kana di-computer tse di botlhokwa thata mo go godiseng bana ba rona le motse ka kakaretso. Ga go dira gore re boloke madi hela gore netse le one tshono ya gore re lebelele kwa e leng gore re tlhoka teng gape.
Parents and students have been urged to take care of these noble donations so that they can sustainably benefit even younger generations. Neo Mudumwa, BTV News, Ngam and Monong villages.
Now we apologize for that technical glitch. That story was the Assistant Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Metel Tamona Kota, saying cooperation between government and the private sector has grown. Maimona Kota highlighted this during the Standard Chartered Bank in conjunction with them, where they were handing over donated socks, shoes, computers at the Nkang and Manong Primary School. That story was brought to you by Neo Mudungwa. Now, and going forward, teachers are encouraged to start side businesses as a way of diversifying their income streams. The Secretary General for Bosetu, an association that advocates for teachers' rights, Retobokani Rari, said this at a business expo workshop with teachers in Nhabe in the Maung area. Mareta Kaisara.
Bosetu affirms the delayed progression of teachers, which leads to a stagnant salary increment, leading to teachers becoming financially unstable and affecting their performance. However, as a way of encouraging these teachers, Bosetu has now come up with a strategy to assist teachers to devise a stream of income to augment their salaries.
84%, and they were specific, of teachers are currently bottlenecked at the top scale of salary scale C1, because that is the last progressional scale.
Last time I had a botsapo e mo parlamenteng gore na re me ko se teachereng ha re re motho o diegile mo scale re ra le lobaka le le kae me bile ba kae ba ba le baka le le kalo me bile ba ganeletse mo scale sehe ene ya nna kgang ya gore nya ke 15 years me ba ganeletse mo go C1 me bontsi jwa bone over 10-15,000 ba mo go C1.
The teachers were also urged to use their free time to operate their private businesses.
Teachers, we have the holiday halatzedins. We are entitled to leave. Artsen di leave re go bereka. Artsen di leave re magaeng re go bona gore ke ntse ke robala mo ntung ya ga mme ha yana le nna ke ipele hale. The holiday tse tsotlhe tse re na le leave tseo. Ha re chaisitse ka bo half 4. Let's run around.
Bosetu says government employees are allowed to operate businesses alongside their professions,
provided that they have declared their businesses and asked for authority for permission from the powers that be. So that's all what that clause says. And the second clause that comes to prohibiting businesses is the one that talks about not having businesses within the premises of the employer. What it just means is that you cannot turn a government pool house into a business locality. You cannot use school premises, for example, in the case of teachers, to do business.
The teachers also had the opportunity to talk to the financial advisors, consultants, and financial institutions to assist them in conceptualizing their business ideas. Marata Kaisar, BTV News, Maung.
The Northwest District Council Chairperson Re Itumeleng Kilibetseng has encouraged Nenifi Apostolic Daily Mission congregants in Maung to register for elections during the supplementary registration period. The chairperson said this during a clap and tap musical event that was organized by the church to raise funds. Maranyane Samakata.
The church is considered the bedrock of human life, from which principles and morals are drawn for one to be in harmony with others and their surroundings. Mr. Kilebetseng emphasized the importance of the church, highlighting its responsibility as a key player in the formation of a democratic government that cherishes peace and unison.
Ya ka gompieno re mongwe wa ditlhopho yana ba dumela gore tseo ke tsa bapolitiki bona bona ba tsenang teng mme kana le modimo a lema gore babusi ba lehaga ba go ba dilo ke lona kere so ga le sa nne le seabe mo tsamaiso ya puso ya batho ka batho go ra gore kereke ga ena seabe le kereke go ra gore e latlhelela go tsweledisa puso ya batho ka batho mo lehateng la Botswana kere.
The church embraces its responsibility to nurture human life, albeit financial constraints and other relevant resources.
Bokereke ke yona mama mo teng ga botshelo. Ebile bokereke bo aga motho gore motho a tlogele dio tsa selehatsi a itebaganye le dio tsa modimo. Jaanong he mona go ya gampieno ha re hano ka go dira maetsana re ka dirang gore re tsose bokereke jwa rona dikago dingwe tse re ka di dirang go gongwe e re mo go tswelele re bona gore nya me re tshwere sengwe re bone mongwe hela yo o ntseng ja yo thokang re bone gore mo thusa ya
re ka bitsa re kwa re motshelo ke dumela gore dikhwaere tse ra tshellana gore ha re ya ka gompieno go hostile rona yana dikhwaere tse dingwe di eta di a re tshologa le rona ka moso ga ba bangwe ba re biditse ra go ba tsholo gore ke nka e buela ke motshelo wa go thusana ka gone gore re kgone go thabolla bokereke jwa rona.
The supplementary voter registration exercise will run from February 26th until March 15th and can be done at designated registration centers for various constituencies. Maranyane Samakata, BTV News, Maung.
Now we end our bulletin right here. Thank you very much for staying with us. Sports is coming up next.
Thank you so much, Kaelo Sabone. Good afternoon. I am Liza Osekeng with your world of sport. And we are starting off with football news. The Mares finished off their training camp in Turkey with a physical assessment session where players were addressed on their physical status last night. After 9 days of activity punctuated by 2 games, the Mares finally concluded their camp in Antalya, with the coaches and players expressing positivity about the camp. Following the assessment, players have been made aware of their physical strengths and have been given recommendations to work on their weaknesses before they could engage in another camp. The training session was seen as a success by different parties.
The most important part, which is 80%, part in nutrition, and nutrition they need to know, they need to be guided. So going forward, ke banetse assignment ya gore ba kgone go dirisa, even if ha re tswa mo camping re kgone go go ditlabong tsa bone re ba thuse re lebelle re bue le other fitness coaches tsa ba leng kwa gore ba ba thuse yang tota. To wrap everything up, this training camp has taught me, number one, ka gore ke la ntla ke dirisanya le bone. It has taught me a lot of things. I need to go assess how can I be able to help them. We need to work on our strength training, because we're playing with countries like Bonebo, Russia. Physically they are strong. For us to be able to compete with such, we need to build a lot of strength.
And overall, I would say it's been a very productive camp, and we need to have more camps of this caliber so that we can be able to measure in terms of progress, what is it that we need to change, what is it that we need to improve, and from here is to sit down with the technical team, the video analyst included, and see what needs to be improved in detail and see how we can help develop individual players within the game model so that they also contribute to performance of the team.
Go na le se leng gore re se sedile mo e leng gore e tla re ha re tsena ko gae kwa be re bankanyetsang mo go gone. Preparations went well. The team is ready, the morale is high on camp. Technically and tactically, we are fine. We just have to brush off rebanganye here and there. We want to do this, which means we are going to need players who are committed, who are passionate, and most importantly, banaling discipline.
And now moving on, Botswana Football Association, in collaboration with UNESCO and the Ministry of Education, has launched the FIFA Football for Schools program in Good Hope Village. The program is targeted at developing well-rounded leaders, instilling life skills and developing cognitive, emotional as well as physical skills. Pel Puduhudu has the report.
According to Botswana Football Association coordinator Terry Khabeng, the program encompasses life skills component and it was targeted at giving boys and girls the opportunity to discover their skills at a young age. 5 primary schools have been chosen in Good Hope district to pilot the program, targeting children aged between 6 to 12 years.
Nka bua gore nako le nako ke ene first choice ga gona gope ha ile gore o ka batla wa ikela teacher ile second choice.
Women Development Officer Barobinwako said the program fits in the government's will to promote inclusiveness in sports as it seeks to ensure access to football for all players without discrimination. And therefore, it is important to have professional coaches who will be able to impart necessary skills which children might need to develop in football.
The code of conduct e leng gore e guide coach gore coach swantse gore e be le motho yo itshwarang jang mo setšhabeng for him to earn the respect of the community le gone gore batsadi ba kgone gore ba mo trust ka bana ba bone ba leng gore ra ba tlogella mo nakong ya gompieno.
Councillor for Mokgobane Metlojane Falaki Mononi said Football for Schools is an inspiring program where football meets education, designed to help children learn essential life skills through fun football sessions to complete classroom teaching and enhance education outcomes.
The coach said, "Era kamera player at Sameka. One player miss a goal. We don't have players that start to miss a goal. So I miss a goal. So some coaches, what about in front of people? You can't do that as a coach."
This Football for Schools is part of a worldwide FIFA program to be implemented in partnership with host governments and UNESCO, with the target to reach 700 million children across the globe. Pel Puduhudu, BTV Sports, Good Hope.
And now switching codes, the Botswana Dance Sport Association Public Relations Officer Tiron Toagai says preparations are going well as Bodansa prepares to host the Botswana Dance Sport Grand Prix, which will be the first Olympics qualifier to be hosted in Africa. The Grand Prix has attracted countries in the likes of Eswatini, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Lesotho and Namibia. Seholame Baeng.
Ndoagaye further explained that they have been relying on funds injected by different companies in preparing for the event. He further encouraged other companies to come on board, saying there is still time to offer them assistance. Ndoagaye also revealed that to date only Mozambique has arrived to acclimatize.
The main thing that we have encountered, a main issue is issue of sponsorship. You recall that we have we just have 2 sponsors currently being 10 Star Holdings and Okavango Diamond Company. We still need more sponsors on board because this championship requires a lot of preparations, requires a lot of financial support and staff. So that's the main issue that we are still encountering. The issue of sponsorships, we are still lacking a lot of departments. Therefore, we need a lot of sponsors. We need the support to make this championship a success.
The Grand Prix will see dancers competing in categories like Setapa, Sibirwa, Hosana, Patis, Amapiano and Ballroom Dance, where winners in category will walk away with 10,000 Pula.
Preparations are going well. We are at 95% of the preparations. Many groups are still confirming attendance. We have a lot of groups which have registered to come and participate. On the 1st of March, we'll be at the Game City Hillview area or the Maquis area. We'll be holding a cultural night. In terms of prize monies, for the traditional dance groups, as I've alluded before, we are giving away 10,000 Pula as a grand prize for the Setapa, Seperu, Sibiras, Polka, Namastap, Diware, Hosana, Patisi category. In terms of Latin and Ballroom, we'll be awarding the Champion of Champions, in which the first prize will be going away with 2,000 Pula, the second prize 1.5, the third prize 1.2, the fourth prize 900, the fifth prize 600, and the last prize 400. That's how the prize monies are going for both the Champion of Champion for Latin and Ballroom.
The much anticipated event will commence on the 1st of March with a cultural dance competition at Game City before the Latin and Amapiano dance at the UB Indoor Sports Arena on the 2nd. The Botswana Dance Sport Grand Prix has been authorized by the World Dance Sport Federation to be used as a Paris Olympics qualifier. Sogolame, Baeng, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
And finally, in an effort to develop bowling from grassroots, Botswana Bowling Association, in collaboration with the Botswana National Sports Commission, held a bowling tournament through the Rababonaha Development Program in Jwaneng. The idea behind the tournament was to sensitize young people about bowling as a sport for all. Makharebe Nkwani.
The Rababonaha coordinator in Jwaneng, Joseph Giorota, says they were happy with the overall delivery of the event and was optimistic that more people will join bowling, especially the youth who will take the baton once the current crop of players retire. Botswana Bowling Association's national coach Hasorona Pabalelo said the association is worried about the age range of the current bowlers, as they are mostly adults, hence the need to mobilize children of ages 6 to 12 years in order to keep the sports conveyor belt running over the coming years.
We are trying to sensitize youngsters bowling. People used to perceive bowling is an adult sport. In the good old days, it was played by white old people. But nowadays, we filled up youngsters from 9 years up. But for Rababonaha purposes, it's 6 to 12 years.
Tsepa Mudiakhodla, who had 4 children partaking in the tournament, said she wanted them to spend more time playing bowling so that they did not engage in antisocial behaviors. Four teams took part in the tournament and the top 3 walked away with prizes. Makharebe Nkwani, BTV Sport, Jwaneng.
And that is it for sport this hour. I'll be back with more at 5, but stay tuned because In Context continues with Kaelo Sabone right after this.
Malwetse a sa tshelanweng nka bolwetse jwa madi a magolo, bolwetse jwa tshukela, malwetse a pelo le sekhufa, kankere le a mangwe a dihwaya kwa pele mo bakeng mago mo Botswana. O ka thibela malwetse a ka o diantho tse iladelang: o itshidila mmele, o emisa o damfola, o fokotsa mabjalwa, o da dijo tse di itekanetseng, tlhokomela botsogo ba gago, molaetsa o kwa kwa ba napa.